With the bottom base on base. We say, so the Mishnah gives the cases of Yitzhak Shabbos, of the Ani and the Balabais, and it's Shnaim Shem Arba, Bachut Shnaim Shem, so that's Shnaim Shem Arba, it's 4, and 4 and 4 is 8. So the more questions the math. I don't know if we went through this calculation yesterday. So the more says, I only have master Abaya, Tam Nahave, Tam Nahave. It's really 12. How do you get 12? Because if you really look at, you see, in the case of Tur, Pasha the Siani of Nim not the Balabayis, right? Right? Shteim Turin. Now, what does it mean, Shteim? From Pasha Ani, the Ani is outside, he sticks his hand inside, and V'noto Balabayis Mitoicha. The Balabayis takes from the Ani. So they're both Potter. Now, there are two people involved in their case. The Ani did the Akira, and the Balabayis did the Hanocha. And then the other case is, the Balabayis put it in his hand, and the Ani took it. So that's two cases, but it's not two. There's only 4 people in that story that are Potter. There's the first time is the Ani and the Balabayis. The second time, the Balabayis and the Ani. So that's 4. That itself is 4, and the second thing, same thing in the final case is 4. So that's another 8. So it's really the first 4 plus the second 4 is 8, because we're counting the Tur. Because in the second case, each half job is only Potter, but there's 4 half jobs. Each case has a double half job. So it comes out to each cases is 4, and then there's 2 of them, it's 8. So this really comes out to a total of 12 cases. Not why? So why do you say it's 4 and 4? It should be 12. That's the question. So the one answer is Tamech Shitzrei Have. Well, if you look at it that way, in the first part of the Mishnah, there's always 2 people involved. It's always Pashat Ani Esyadoi Difnim and also the Tzarich Yadash Balabais. So the Balabais' hand is sticking out. Okay, he's Potter, you're doing it, but he's still another person involved. There's still you can say that Balabais is Potter another time for sticking out his hand. So more says, "I'm no kasha." That's not a kasha. Bishlama the Potter. There's a big difference in the beginning when the Ani does everything. Right, the Ani takes it, he sticks his hand in, and he puts it in the hand of the Balabayas. So we say the Ani is chayav. Why? Remember, very important rule. Remember, you must remember this. In Shabbos, you always need Akira and Anocha. Both. So, and now the Balabayas is sitting like this. He's not doing Akira or Anocha. He's nothing. He just is. His hand is there. So above the ratio. So it's true. We said the Balabayas is Potter. That doesn't count as one of the cases of Shabbos. That's not Shtayim Shein Arba. Two cases of people with their din malacha, and with your chayiv, and 2 cases of people and with your Potter. So why you just add everything up? That doesn't make the charts at all. It just doesn't come into the play. The fact that he stood there with his hand out, he was completely irrelevant. Maybe why it might be lifting Ivar, maybe. Let's just get into that. But we don't, whatever it is, we still don't count that as one of the malachas of Shabbos, as anything, even a Potter of Shabbos. Above the Sefer, the Potter of also kasha. But what the question is, in the Sefer, again, in the second part, where we say that you're Potter, Pasha Ani is Shadofnim. So the 2 of them together, the Ani did Akira, and the Balabayis did Hanocha, or the Balabayis did Akira, and the Ani did Hanocha. So there we say that's Shtayim. That we also have there. That's Shtayim. Shemar also, so that's Shtayim. That itself is 2 cases of Bifnim, or 2 cases of Bechutz, and 2 cases of Bifnim. That's 4. Why is that 4? That's 8, because in each of those cases, there's always 2 people involved in being Potter. They're both equally Potter. The person did Akiyah plus Anocha. So that really should be 8, and this should be 4 plus 8 should be 12. That's the question. Kasha. So Now here the Gemara, it's a little bit, gets off into a tangent. Mi'ike pekula Shabbos potter umutter. So let's go after now. 1 second. Do you want to say that the Reisha is potter, but it's more permissible, right? Because he's just standing there. He's not doing anything. Just standing there. And yet, we say in the Mishnah, the Mishnah, Balabais potter. What do you mean potter? Potter. What do you say the word potter? What does that mean? Potter could have too. He's potter. What do you mean potter? By the way, let me explain that to you. Right? What does it mean potter? What's the word potter? Potter from what? Potter from chiyuv. Potter from chiyuv. Either potter of chatas, potter from chiyuv skila. When a person is machal Shabbos, so he's chayiv either b'shoigeg skila, sorry, b'shoigeg chatas, b'shoigeg skila. So here's potter. Now, you might be potter from bringing a korban, but it doesn't mean you're allowed to do this. It's potter of l'asa, right? So the Gemara says, is there such a thing? So here we want to say in the case of the Seifa, where the Balabais is just sticking out his hand. He's potter. Potter means mutter. There's nothing. There's no issa. Is there such a thing? Shmuel said, Shabbos, whatever it says in the word potter, the Mishnayos and Shabbos, is potter of al-asr. The following 3 exceptions. Ba'amihani plus. The potter mutter. Number 1 is seidas tzvi, catching a tzvi, a deer. Seidas nochash, because again, we'll see here, it's not an Isser Tzed at all. It's defined, the Rambam says it. It's just defined of protecting yourself, or, it's not an action of Tzed at all. Still, a mapis mursa is permissible, because the person is in tsar. He has to open up a pimple or something, so, some type of pus, and therefore it's a reason to release the pressure, and therefore, since it's not really a malacha, it's just a malacha d'rabbanan, but it's potter because it's tsar. So the one answer is no, it's not true. You could have something which potter is also. So why did Shmuel say 3 exceptions? He gets Shmuel to make his exceptions of Turi Dika Oven Maisa. They're actually doing something, and we have to explain. And you're not supposed, and you're potter from doing it. We have to explain that it's potter permissible. That's a chiddush. Turi Dika Oven Maisa, but we didn't do anything. You're just going like this. That's not called doing anything. You're sticking out his hand. That's not doing anything. He could tuva. There you can have lots of cases where you're potter, it's mutter, you absolutely did nothing. So that's what the Mishnah is saying. Okay. So now let's go back. So that's a tangent we went off. How do we understand the last case? Why don't we list the first case? Sorry, the potter in the first part of the Mishnah. But we still have a question. Why don't we count the second part of the Mishnah as double? Again, because there's a kira and a nocha. There's one, he sticks it out. And the balabai, he does the kira. And the balabai, his hand is out, and he does the nocha. So we said they're both potter. So that's called 1 case. Why is that called 2? So if we double each one, you doubled it from 4 to 8. That's 12. So why not 12? So we come up with to show you nothing. So the Gemara answers, no. It's a good question. But the Tana here, when he says there are Shtayim Shin Arba ways of Chilul Shabbos, of Hasah, he means something very specific. He says Turi de Ka'oven Turi. So Osli de Chiv Chatas Kachoshi, Osli de Chiv Chatas Loika Choshi. So the answer is as follows. Again, go back to the Mishnah. This case of the Mishnah, I want to show you the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, So this is number one. This is Shnayim Shin Arba, where you putter. Now, that's one. Now, part of that case is not the Balabayis B'Taychai. Now, he's doing Anocha. We don't count that. Similarly, in the second case, the Balabayis takes it, Akira, and puts it. And the Ani takes it out. Those are both cases of putter. That's two. But why is it not four? So the answer, the reason why it's not four, Rabbi Yisai, is because we only count in our list of Shnayim Shem Arba, which you putter on, is on something which could come lidei chatas. So we say when he does the Ani does that kira, and he's going to then only do the kira and not do the anacha. So it's only putter. It's true, but it's still a malacha which you putter, which could come lidei chiyav chatas if he wouldn't pay attention and he himself would do the akira. Then it would be a full malacha. It would be putter. So that's the type of putter that we're listing, and we're defining in our Mishnah. Okay, so that's the answer to the question. Dr. Gemara, new question. Back to Gemara. Now, 1 second. So again, we said when he does half of malacha, he does the Ani does the akira, puts it in the hand of the Balabayis. Back to Gemara. Well, why? Shnei Turim. V'yisavida malacha mivraya. Why a putter? What's malacha? He did akira. He did anacha. So the Ani did akira, and the Balabayis did anacha. So malacha was done. He did the job. I don't know, right? So someone did a malach on Shabbos. The two people drove the car together. Sorry, you did malacha l'chayra? What was that malacha? So the one answer is no. The Torah tells us differently. Tanya, there's a requirement for the halacha to call it a malacha. It's when he does it. He says kula. Malacha is defined by doing the full malacha. V'loya says miktsasa. But part of malacha is not a malacha. Therefore, yachid rasoi say chayiv. When one person does it, he's chayiv. Na'im v'rasoi say. But if two people do the same malacha, they do it together. And that together means that you need them both to actually do it. They both fully participate. Again, one does the kir, one does anacha. There, the Torah does not mechayev your potter. This was thrown out from the mouth of the chabura and the Beis Medrash. They're learning, and they came up with this chiddush. When it says asaysa, you do it. It's got to be doing the whole thing, the whole malacha. Yachid shal sakayiv, shnayim shesu p'turin. Dr. Gemara weiter, Rav Moshe. Boy mine Rab mi Rebbe. I want to ask you the following question. Hitino chaveiro oichlin umashkin. If I take a knapsack and I put it on top of my friend, and there's food in there. He's going on a trip. He goes out on Shabbos. So he took the knapsack and he went outside. So how do we look at that? Who did that kira? I put it on him. He didn't take it. I put it on him. Let's see tomorrow. Is that now? But he's in the house. He's here, and it's on him. So he didn't take the food, but Akira's gufoy. He took his body, the food, and was oiker and took it out from the Shusa Yochid to the Shusa Rabim. Is that Akira's gufoy? Is Akira's chayfetz? Is that the same thing as that I pick it up in the inside and I go outside with it? That's malacha for sure. But here it's already on me. Somebody else put it on me. So the Gemara says, maybe not. Chayiv. Yeah, that's called. In other words, that's called akira. you're there. I'm stationary. I'm in the house. I pick myself up. I get off my chair. I get up. I go. I'm oiker, and I go outside. Malacha. So 1 second. Now the Gemara has like an assumed question over here. 1 second. Well, I'll read the line. And I'll explain what the question was. So, ve'enu doime liyadoi. Why? It's not doime to all see is yadoi. My time of goof unayich yadoi lo nayich. What's enu doime liyadoi? When the hand is inside. The hand is outside, and his goof is chutz. And the second case, where the balabayis picks it up and puts it on his hand. So there we say that the ani's potter, because he didn't do the akira, even though he took it out. So 1 second, I've stuck my hand inside, I'm taking it out. So you said, if it's in my goof, I would think my hand is part of my body. It's also part of my body, but I stuck my hand in. The balabayis was oiker, and he put it in my hand, and I pull it out. I'm potter. I didn't, because now if I would have done akira and hanacha, I'd be chayiv. So why you not chayiv? We say akira is gufay, picking up your body, myself, and going outside. That's akira. No, I stuck my hand in, and the balabayis put it in my hand, and I pulled it out. Why is that not akira? So he says, no. Yadoi l'nayev. Since that's not called akira. Rashi says, that's not akira. The body is there. I'm inside. And when I pick up my body and I move it, that's called removing something from its position. When something is in the hand by definition is a double which floats around. It's here, it's there, this. So it's true that the chayfetz is on the floor, and the balabais picked it up. They put it in my hand. So he did an akira. He put it in my hand is like space. It's like a space. So now I'm taking the space and I'm bringing it outside and taking it and putting it down outside. That maybe is going to be a hanacha, but the fact that the balabais put it in my hand, he put it in this like floating space. My not stationary hand. Lo nayich. So me pulling my hand out, it was never akira, it was never munach. It has to be placed in order to be considered uprooted, akira. So the person is munach, and if someone puts something on him, put the knapsack on him, and he gets up, he's munach, and he's oiker, he's removing it from its position. But the balabais who put in the hand, it's a hand. He already did part of the job. He already kind of was oiker. He threw it out of its space and put it into some other space, and now it's nekar, but it's not going to be munach until the ani comes along and takes it outside. So therefore, the ani is not considered the one doing the akira.